Welcome to LUV Fitness Studios podcast, live from Manchester, UK, speaking to entrepreneurs in the fitness, health and well-being industry, sharing stories about the real-life challenges and hustle. Now, over to your host, Nick Phillips.
Okay, welcome to podcast number 18. Today we've got the legend, he's in my world anyway, Harry King from King's Football. How's it going, Harry?
All good, thank you, all good.
Harry has built a little empire when it comes to kids football, so we're going to find out a little bit more about the story, how you've built it, how it's been a success. Obviously we're in the depths of a lockdown at the minute, how it's affecting kids, and what you're sort of thinking about the future. So take me right back. I always like to start right at the beginning. Harry, as a little boy, Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? What was you into when sports-wise?
I grew up in Prestwich, went to St Margaret's Primary School and over the road Parenthorne High School, so that was my childhood. In terms of sport, from a young age, it's always been football. Brought up in a Man United household, so as a Red, played football from when I can remember, primary school, maybe 4 or 5. Dipped into a few other sports. I remember trying cricket, don't think that was for me. Golf was quite big in my childhood. I started that slightly later, maybe high school, 12, 13. Played that for 4 or 5 years. That kind of faded away. Football's been the only one that's kind of stayed with me from being 5 years old to right now.
So who was your idol when you were 5? Who was your player when you were a kid?
As a few. Obviously, Man United was a team, so you had like Beckham's and David Beckham was the one for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when I was younger, but as I grew up, all the players like Berbatov, Ronaldo. Ronaldo's a funny story because when I was a kid, the best Ronaldo was
the goofy one.
Brazilian Ronaldo. So I remember being in the car with my dad at that time, and we signed Ronaldo on the news, and my dad goes, "Oh, we signed Ronaldo," and initially I thought it was
the Brazilian.
Yeah, Brazilian Ronaldo. I was like, yes, and he's like, "No, it's this Ronaldo from Portugal. No one really knows who he is."
Wow.
And I was like, I remember being upset at that point, which is I remember that day, which is incredible, but. That was a funny story because obviously it is the right one to buy.
Definitely, and I remember when he first played for United, he had these weird hairdo, didn't he? He was doing all these scissors and step overs and
fun but frustrating to watch at that time, wasn't he? He's like just star boy trying to do all the tricks, but maybe not the end product. And
so it's interesting that obviously you've got a football academy. You deal with hundreds, if not thousands, of kids. What's the difference between Ronaldo as a player and I don't know, any other like kid that's going to be a potential? What's the difference in your eyes?
In terms of how he's made it to where he is.
Yeah, is it to becoming, if not the best player in the world? Like what does it take? Why?
I think it's just the pure dedication and the resilience to do the same stuff for however many years he has. I just think to get up every day and have these habits that he's had where he doesn't drink and he just keeps himself in incredible shape and he's like obsessed with just mastering everything he does. I think that's what separates you. I think you have so many players with talent. Like I was watching the Ravel Morrison podcast the other day. I don't know if you've watched it, but just the talent he had and the talent that people said he had was amazing, but it just wasn't matched by this what Ronaldo had, which was just determination and dedication to commit to that craft for just so many years, and still now, like I don't know how old, nearly 40 years old I think, and he's still every day, like you see training videos of him, just he doesn't give anything less than 100%, and to do that for so many years, I just think that's the difference. It's easy to have just days off or weeks off, or I think that's the difference, especially with Ronaldo. Where he did have stuff to work at. I think when Messi stepped on the scene, he was just kind of not ready-made, but you just knew it was more natural, and Ronaldo kind of knew that, and just incredible.
So you think hard work, doing it. It's like you said with the Beckham. I know his stories where he just used to take the same free kicks over, repetition.
Video of it, isn't
Yeah.
Incredible.
So you think that's the... So what was next for you? So you went to school. Did you? How far did you take your own football career?
My own football career, enjoyable. Like Saturday morning grassroots football was my career.
Who's your team?
Started with Stand Athletic, which I don't think is no longer.
That's on Ringley Road.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so started
near my mum and dad's house.
That was my first team. Must have been there since I was about 6 or 7, and then stayed there till maybe year 8 at school, year 9. So majority of my childhood was there. Then I went to Marauders, which again is another grassroots team.
Been going for years, haven't
yeah. Had a few trials. With me, I always felt technically quite good on the ball. I was very small as a kid,
right?
Up until I was about, honestly, college. 17, 18 was where I had my growth spurt. That always played a part mentally for me. Like, I remember going to trials and just like mentally just thinking they were better, they were faster, they were bigger, and like that affected me a lot, especially when I remember the days. And that's why the path changed for me to be a coach. Yeah, kind of. Obviously every kid wants to be a professional footballer, but I think it gets to a stage where, for me, I just not knew, but the chances are small. You need to start thinking about other options and
100%.
So I take my hat off. You see the players that make it late. I have a close friend of mine that's just signed a professional contract and he's 23, and like he was a personal trainer this time last year.
Wow,
so,
who's
like,
he playing for now?
He plays for Lincoln City now.
Wow.
And
League 2?
League 1.
League well in it. Wow.
Top 2, I think second now.
Amazing.
And he's doing amazing. So like that, for me, I take my hat off. But again, he reminds me of just a player that's pure determination. Like he was a PT, but straight after he finished there, he was on the field or on an AstroTurf by himself, or same sort of commitment. But yeah, for me, I don't think I was mentally ready or mentally prepared to be a professional footballer or be in that environment. I always had like a feeling that people were better than me in the environments. I felt comfortable in grassroots and I felt comfortable in my school playground. But then when I stepped into that uncomfortable environment, in an environment where all the players are as good or better than you, it's like, I don't know, as a kid I just wasn't. It's not where I shone, and you've got to shine in them environments.
Do you think kids get taught that at a young age, like mindset, or do you think do you see any of that at the sort of younger levels? I mean,
what I think's important for kids is it's just got to be fun. So it's not even labeling as a trial anymore.
Yeah.
Just like a centre where you're going to come and learn, and like you don't need to tell the kids, but if they're ready, then they move up to. I think it's not necessarily sitting the kid down and saying, "This is a trial. You've got to play. You've got to do this and this and this, and if you do that, I think it's just got to be. Maybe just not tell the kid. It's got to be fun. Yeah. Like come and enjoy yourself. The practices are fun. The coaches are fun and engaging, and it's a relaxing environment, so the kids do feel at ease. Like when I went to a trial, it was just like, I don't know. I was very young, but what I remember is just like kit on, like quite an old school coach, like do this, and it was like, I don't know. I just wasn't ready for that at that age.
Yeah.
I think English football's got better with that. I think kids are eased into it a little bit more. But yeah, maybe not back then.
A lot of pressure. And I see it. I mean, I've got a son, he'll be 7 soon, and you see it with the parents. It's the pushy parents, in it, and it's not a nice atmosphere.
Parenting plays a big part, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's important for the parents to give the kids freedom and just tell them that it doesn't really matter, just go and enjoy yourself. And everyone has different views, but that would be my view as a parent.
100%. I saw a statistic about kids that go through academies. I think it's less than 1% actually make. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's less than 1% that sign at an academy. Right. Something about that make it as a career.
Wow.
So it's slim. So if you get into that, just enjoy the process.
Definitely.
Like, you've got 10 years or however long in an environment that you're gonna like meet friends, like just have an amazing experience, but just don't have that pressure on you to like. But it comes from your parents a lot of the time, because they're just probably counting the checks. And
It's
and
bad,
it's
isn't it?
scary, but it's a long journey from signing at under 9 to becoming a professional footballer.
And I think the bottom line is the kid has got to want to do it. Like, you can push them and force them as much as you want, but if there's any sort of negativity with the kids, they're just not going to do it, are they?
No, I watched an amazing podcast with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And he said something about his father, and he said, I think he did like a whole pre-season and didn't make a 3-pointer, or got less than 10 points or something.
Yeah.
And he said his dad said to him, son, I don't care if you get 1 point or 60 points, like, I just want you to enjoy yourself. And he said that was like, the day he said that, I just played with like freedom, and he just said that was the day where the inner motivation, he's like, I'm getting 60 then, but it doesn't matter if I don't.
Yeah.
Like, it was just his dad giving him that freedom. Like, it doesn't matter if you get this or this. My parents were the same. Relating it back to exams and GCSEs, like, it's a nerve-wracking time for children, but I remember the night before I got my GCSE results, and it's scary, you don't sleep so much.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad came in, and some families, I'm not saying it's wrong, you get an X amount of money for an A, an X amount of money for a B, an X amount of money for a C. And my mum and dad came in and said, there's a little bit of money, well done, we don't really care what you get, we know you put the work in. And it was just like, don't know, like, it just felt nice.
Pressure was off.
Yeah, like the pressure is off, like, I've tried my best.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not getting 50 quid for an A, or I've got a little bit of a reward. It wasn't a lot, but I just, like, when your pressure's off from your parents, it means the world.
Definitely.
So with that for me, but with sport as well, it's the same.
Enjoy it. I think that's the bottom line in it. Just don't put too much pressure on it, and just let them do what they want.
Yeah.
So which is brilliant. So you decided? What age did you decide that you wanted to go into coaching? Then when did you? And what was that? Was it like you wanted to be more of a trainer? Was he seeing the kids develop, or was it just you enjoy putting the strategy for the sessions?
So when my little brother joined the team, so he's 7 years younger than me.
Yeah.
He joined the team probably 6, 7. I was 14, 15, and when he started training, I started going down and watching. And then they had an Everton academy coach coming in to do the sessions, so the club was paying for him to come in. And I just remember watching a few, and then I asked to get involved, or my parents asked if I could get involved, and that was it. I was 14, 15, and I was going every week, and I was assisting this coach that worked for Everton Football Club at the time. And it was just amazing experience, you know, you're watching them, how they deal with the kids and the sessions they put on. And I just thought, maybe this is the route for me. And I probably did, I don't know, 3 years of that, just with him, 2 years maybe of hundreds of hours, just watching him at a young age. I was still in school then, so I couldn't do any of my coaching badges. You had to be 16, I think.
Right.
And when I turned 16, I did my level 1, like, pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
And then did another year, obviously got a bit better every week, started getting a bit more involved, and then 17 did my level 2 when I was in college.
What was your college doing? Studying?
Went to Berry College and did the sport course, the BTEC Sport level 3. So
thinking you wanted to go stay in coaching.
Yeah,
was that the plan?
Stay in sport. So it was like coaching, teaching. To be honest, I didn't really know, but I just knew I loved sport, so I just thought I need to go into sport.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this, isn't it? Like, yeah, you are passionate about football, but there's so many careers in it for kids coming through as well. Even if you don't make it as a Premiership or any footballer, going into coaching is such a rewarding job as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. I do love it. Yeah.
So what was next after that? After you spending your time with your Everton coach?
So did hours with him. Went to college, did coaching, wasn't a coaching course, just sport, but a bit of coaching was in it.
Yeah.
Did my level 2 throughout that, so I think it was about an 8-month course. So I passed my level 2 before finishing college. one of my college tutors, they were talking about what's next, like university apprenticeships, or what they were kind of helping us in our next path. And one of my college tutors was sorting out apprenticeships for coaches, but you needed a level 2, so I was in a really good position to do it, a level 1 or level 2, but I had the requirements to get it, and it was at Bolton Wanderers Community Trust. So I was just left college, must have been 18, I think. Went to meet them there, and they told me what it would be, like assisting coaches. So I just took it. I just took it pretty much straight away.
What league were they in at the time? Because I know
they were
gone
quite
down.
high up, you know.
Were they?
I think they might have been championship there.
Were they?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And who was the manager then? I think it was Dougie Freeman.
Okay.
The manager.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the Reebok, is it?
It was called the Reebok.
Back.
So that was my following year, basically, just assisting coaches again, just learning. So I learned from the Everton coach, and then stepped into a community environment, which is totally different.
What is a community? So what is it?
So most clubs have a community alongside the club. So it's actually separate, but it's like a charitable organisation. They tend to be non-profitable organisations that are just giving back to the community, and they get funding from like the lottery or the club itself. And they put on like projects, everything, go from nurseries to primary schools to like mental health. They work across the board, like in disability. So I worked in like the mall, like as an apprentice. I was just helping out in all these different environments. So that was really, really good. So I remember my first day. I went into a nursery. I've obviously never done anything like that. A nursery football session. I was sat watching the coach, and I was just thinking, how are you dealing with these kids?
Like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
I was just like, how are you dealing with these? I was like, I can't do this. And honestly, that's what I felt like. I was like, I can't do this. I went home that night. I was like, I can't deal with, like, I've been working with children that are coming to football sessions that want to be there. Going into a community environment, you're dealing with just a wide variety of children. Like, people that want to do it, people that don't want to do it, and that's tend to be more that don't want to do PE than do want to do PE in schools nowadays, which is scary. But especially football. Football's the worst to do in schools.
Is it?
I think, yeah, because I don't know about you, but when I go back to my class, there's probably like 2 or 3 good players, and the rest kind of I don't know. They want to do it, but the rest don't.
It's a good point, though, isn't it?
It's really hard. So that taught me a lot about dealing with behaviour and more like organising a group of players rather than coaching itself.
Right.
It's not necessarily you're not giving coaching detail. You're not like teaching year 2s how to receive on the back foot or putting it's more like dealing with individuals, and that taught me a lot. Definitely like managing groups, and it was a really good experience. Definitely.
Wow. So how long did you do with Bolton for?
Bolton for, I would say, no longer than a year. Maybe like 8, 9, 10 months.
Yeah.
And it could have been, but another door opened for me at that time.
Right.
So I basically the coach that I worked with from being young got a new job at a new club.
Right.
And I started him at 14, but then 5 years later I'd done my level 1, level 2, worked in this community environment, and then back in touch with him, and there was an opportunity in this club's community scheme. Right. So I went to work there, and that started off part-time. Again, but I was an actual member of staff. I wasn't an apprentice, so I was going into schools on my own. My first job was amazing. It was just, the variety was amazing. I remember I'd work on a mental health program called Imagine Your Goals. Right. Twice a week, which is like a Premier League funded club. It's like a Premier League funded program throughout the country. And that's amazing. Like twice a week we'd train, and then we'd go to tournaments, and all these other clubs would be there, and you'd do like a tournament day with them all. That was an amazing experience. Worked with wheelchair football at this club.
Wow.
Worked in nurseries, in primary schools, in high schools. I worked on the college programme delivering, they had a partnership with Hopwood Hall College.
Yeah.
And we as a community organisation did the practical side of it. So I was delivering the practical side of it and they were delivering the academic side of it. So in my time was just had so many different experiences and I met so many different people. It helped me a lot. Again, not with coaching and coaching detail, but just seeing like there's so many options in sport. Like you can work in so many different environments.
Yeah.
The doors are endless.
Like you say, your experience there, trying out all them different types.
In a short space of time too.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you don't realise, do you, that football does affect so many people in different ways. It's not always about the elite. No. It's about, like I say, the whole thing is just having fun with it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that was really good. Stayed there for a long time. What happened with my role when the organisation got bigger was, instead of me doing all these little different projects, would you like, roles started to become individualised to a particular programme.
Right.
So it'd be like you'd work in disability full time, or you'd work on the college programme full time, or you work in the nursery programme full time. So it was like picking one of those or applying for one of those. So I did that, and I just worked in the schools delivering PE, delivering the PE curriculum.
Did you enjoy that?
Schools. I did, yeah. I must have done that for about 2.5, 3 years.
Did you?
Full time, probably.
Did the kids want to do it? Did you have
like we had to deliver the curriculum, so like it's weird, you wouldn't think it, but like the most inclusive one for me was gymnastics.
Was it?
Like you'd get all the equipment out and you'd be doing like forward rolls and you'd be doing like backward. I don't know, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But again, it was in the back of my mind. I really enjoyed it and it gave me an amazing experiences, like looking after a class on myself, like dealing with all,
which is tough, isn't it?
Like so tough.
Yeah.
So tough, rather than dealing with 10 kids that want to come to football, dealing with 30 kids that
I take my
all
hats
coming
off to
from
you,
different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on at home. You don't like it's really tough. So that taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, deep down after a year or so, I knew that football was my passion. Like when I was doing like gymnastics and whatever I was teaching, all sorts of different sport, I just loved teaching football to people that wanted to play football and like helping them develop, and that was where my passion was.
Yeah.
So then for me, I had two options really, like really push for a career in full-time football, which is very tough to do, to get into clubs, because football is like, you know how quickly players are released. It sometimes can be similar with staff, and if your manager leaves, like a new one comes in, bring new staff. I don't know, it's tough. It's very tough. So a more sensible option for me was actually going to be a PE teacher, doing like in a school that were in a high school. And that was kind of in the back of my mind, because it's really tough. Like I was doing this job in the community, and this was at a stage where I didn't really know what I wanted to do next, but I just knew that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. It was amazing, and I would never ever take it back, but I just knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I was 19, 20 years old.
Still young,
I was young, so that was when I applied for university,
right,
and thought like it could open more doors for me. So I'd had I got a lot of hands-on experience, but then go and get some experience academically and go and get a degree. So I got a degree in sports coaching and management, I think it was called. I should know. I only graduated 6 months ago. I went to Bolton University,
right,
and did, I think the course was called sports coaching and management, or sports management and coaching.
Okay.
And again, that was weird. I went from a full-time job into a degree at like 21, something like that. And again, like that was to open doors, because you can't be a teacher without a degree. You need a PGC and need a degree to get into teaching. So that was to open another door, another option for me in my career. But then in year 2 of my degree, it switched because we did a work experience module, which was really big. We had to do like 100 hours of experience in an environment where we'd see ourselves working, and we did like a big report on it.
Okay.
So I went to a school.
Right.
I went to Parenthorn.
Right, your old school.
Yeah, my old school with all my teachers that I knew, and I went to that school, and it was like, again, something that I'd been working in primary schools. I've not really worked with in high school, so another experience that was good. But I just knew that I didn't want to do that.
Did you?
Yeah, like.
So it's a gut feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I did it, and
and
again, it gave me skills, life skills that will serve me well. Dealing with children in primary school that like have a bit of an attitude might be one thing, but then at high school is just
next level.
Yeah, it's another level. Like
giving you shit, talking back to you. Yeah.
It's a lot of. My experience was behaviour management is huge in high schools. Yeah. Like it's big. Like you've got to be good at dealing with behaviour.
Because
and it's not coaching really. Like
you're not.
No, teaching and coaching are different. Yeah. Very different.
It's a tough job being a teacher, isn't it?
It's tough. It is very tough. And I think it's an amazing job. Yeah. Because you can change kids' lives. Like you remember your favourite teachers, don't you?
Of course you do.
Like I can call my favourite teacher up from primary school like now. And like you just remember him, so like being that person would be it's a rewarding job.
You can change people's lives.
Definitely a rewarding job. But again, it was just like PE is everything. You're teaching everything: rugby, cricket, gymnastics. I just like football. I just like teaching football to kids that like football.
You're right.
And that kind of confirmed it for me. So when I did that work experience, did it all year. In the back of my mind, I just knew that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. Yeah. Personally. So, in fact, rewind a year, when I left my full-time job and went to university, I needed some sort of income, and that's when I started Football Kings.
Was it?
Yeah.
Just as a
bit on the side.
Oh, okay.
So, I left my full-time job.
Yeah.
Let's say summertime.
Yeah.
I was starting university in September, so I had this like limbo period where like I need some sort of income now. I'm like gone from a full-time job to nothing. I need something. So I did work part-time at a Premier League academy still. Yeah. And I'm still there as we speak. Done 7 years there. But I needed something else. I think I was doing 4, 5, maybe 4 sessions a week.
Yeah.
But I needed something else. And at the start it kicked off from someone as well. Like my idea came from a friend that I'd worked with, and he had something very similar. He was in a full-time job, 9 to 5, a successful job, but he did it on the side because he loved it. Yeah. And he did something called drop and shop. Okay. And I worked for him a few times, and you turn up on a Saturday afternoon, 1:30, and you'd play till 3:30, and you could come in and you pay a £5, and loads of kids from the community come in. You just put like a dead fun session on, and he did that alongside his full-time job, and I thought, this is so good. Yeah. Like this is what I like. These kids just love football. And I'm putting on these sessions. So I remember contacting him. I worked for him a few times, and I remember contacting him. It's like, do you mind if I'd love to know, like, how did you set up? Like, I'd love to do this where I am. Like, if you don't mind, I'm kind of robbing your idea, but if you don't mind. So he was amazing, really. He sat down with me and went through, like, how you even set up a business. Yeah, and like, what you go on, what insurances you need, and all this stuff I didn't really think of. Yeah, you don't know when you're setting up, you don't think, you just think
so
many things. Yeah. And he, not only the idea, but like to help me, he helped me a lot.
Brilliant.
And that was it. I just set it up. Luckily, my brother was a graphic designer. He created me a logo. And that was it. I set it up, but I literally copied him. I just did a 1:30 till 3:30 session in Whitefield.
Did you? Where was it?
At Phillips High School.
So that was where you first...
That was my first session.
Yeah.
This was probably just before I started uni.
Right.
And
how did you market it?
I marketed it by getting leaflets.
Yeah.
So got my brother, who's helped me a lot, designed me a little leaflet.
Yeah.
1:30 till 3:30 every Saturday, £5 a session or whatever it was. Kind of, I can't remember if I told him to ring to book or just turn up. I think I told him to ring. Do you know what? I think I told him to turn up. Yeah, literally just told him to turn up.
It's how to build a business.
So like, I didn't really know, but I just got like, I think I got 500, 600 leaflets.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Put them all around your shops.
And what I did was I put some in like shops.
Yeah.
On the windows, went to like the barbers.
I know you know Wham, don't you? You know where.
Yeah. So at the time, Wham, they put that on the counter. Hundreds of people walking there a day. But my biggest one.
Yeah.
I emailed every school, primary school in Prestwich and Whitefield. Well, I don't know. I tried to email them all. I probably emailed 20 primary schools to say a bit about me, but dead quick. I'm starting this kind of supplementary football training outside of school hours. Would I be able to bring leaflets in or do an assembly in your school to like promote it to the kids? And out of 23 got back to me. And there were 3 that I'd worked in previously, for the community scheme. So that helps the network again. It's
a good point there. So did you get a lot of no's, or did you just get a lot of nothing coming back to you? Because that's the thing, and that's there's a little bit of gold there that you will get a lot of no's, especially when you're trying to get into setting up your business. You're going to get a lot of people that don't even read your emails.
No.
And you're going to get a lot of people saying, no, it's not for us. So yeah.
Honestly, about 15 schools just didn't reply.
Did they not? Probably went to junk, eh?
Yeah, a couple of schools said like, we're busy or whatever.
So did you have so you sat down with this guy, did you have a plan? Did you like think what the competition was, or was it just literally because obviously you would have had to pay for Phillips.
Yeah.
Did you have a business plan, or was it just like let's just wing it?
Not a business. I didn't have a business plan.
Yeah.
I approached Phillips. It's actually an organisation that run the facilities out of school hours. So I approached them. Explain what I was doing. Could I get a bit of a deal because I'll be doing it every week? Blah blah blah. But no business plan. Like I said, I literally just told him to turn up. I had no idea, and this is the funny part. So I emailed these schools. 3 got back. I was like, amazing. I felt comfortable in like delivering and talking. I worked in schools for like 3 years, so I asked if I could do an assembly to the school about what I'll do, and they all said yeah. So I went in just with a pile of leaflets, and like it was a full school assembly in a primary school. And I just asked them, I explained to them what I'll be doing, like what I've done in the past. I'll be doing this training. It's only 5 minutes down the road at Phillips. Yeah. 1:30 every Saturday if you fancy it, till 3:30. I was like, the first one's on, I think it was like November time or something, maybe.
Right, in the winter.
Something like that, yeah. It was like November. It was when I started uni, about November time. Yeah. And the first day, so I did that in 3 schools. The first session, I got my friends that I'd worked with at all these clubs to help me out. So I think I got like 4 members of staff down. We had no idea who was coming. And we had like 60 kids turn up on session 1.
Wow, that is mean.
On session 1.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my mum was there like helping me doing the signing.
I remember like your early. No, I don't think you ever came to the first one, but I remember you had your mum helping. Yeah,
because I didn't really like. Again, I had no idea on business or like. I kind of just gone from Neil, the guy who did drop and shop, and I just went from him, and he had like someone there helping signing in on a piece of paper, like 60 kids, like. It was carnage that day. Like it was amazing feeling, but I was thinking, this is nuts.
Yeah. So there's some great points in there. Like you say, just getting it out there, word of mouth, just getting in front of us. Like you say, if you were to go around delivering, and we've tried it all with the hub, it's going around delivering 500 letters through 500 leaflets through 500 doors. It's going to take you so much time. So you've just gone literally straight into the school. Think about like and build it up from there. So that's a massive result.
That was amazing. So then from there it was just maybe a year, 2 years of just Saturdays,
Yeah.
and that was my bit on the side. It was just helping me like tick.
Yeah.
But that was it. I didn't think anything of it being a job. Like I went to uni to open other doors. Like it didn't cross my mind once for maybe like a year that this could be my job. And it's like, and all what happened is like opportunities to rise in front of me. Like one parent said, do you do any private training? And I said, no, but I can if you want. I said, that was it. I did a 1-to-1, started doing them on Sunday, but I never advertised it. I never thought there was a market at that time. This was like how long ago now? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I think this sort of coaching has only just kind of become relevant. I think
from YouTube, like you go on YouTube now, you see all these 1-to-1 coaches that are just smashed it, aren't they? So do you think, because like I say, like me as a kid, I'm 38 this year, there was none of this when I was a kid, and I don't even think there's much when you were a kid.
5 years ago.
Is that what it is? And what's that down to? Just demand? Just like, do you think YouTube's made a big...
Yeah,
because you get these kids that are absolutely sick on YouTube, aren't you?
I think it's made a big impact, definitely. Huge. I think people understand more the repetition you need to become like a top player. Like if you go to a group session and play a game with 15 of your mates or 15 of your team, like you don't touch the ball that much. Like in a game, like I listened to a stat, like a striker gets on average in the Premier League like 3 shots a game,
right?
Like in 90 minutes, and they're playing up front.
Wow.
So like if you want to get better at it, you need to be doing stuff individually, really, to get repetition at them. But players that weren't at clubs, that weren't getting that repetition in training, you'd just be going to like a local park with like cones and doing a game. I think it's just become, people understand the need for it a bit more, because you get so much repetition in an hour on your own. Like I think it's just, even if it's not with a coach, just on your own or with your brother or whoever you can go with, just repetition with the ball.
It's interesting. We had a lad on the podcast the other week, and he played quite high up. He was going through the academies when Giggsy was about and stuff like that. And he said he got quite high up at Bolton as well. And he just said, I said, what did you do for practice? He just said he had no mates because he lived in a pub, and I think they moved. And he said he just used to be out in the rain, sunshine, and just hitting the ball at a wall. And he just had a great shot on him. So it was just playing again, just repetition.
So you need a wall, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So just smash. Do you think, like now with all this coaching and this elite coaching and all this 1-to-1 stuff, do you see the game changing with these kids that are coming through? Do you think the game's getting more technical? Obviously, from your days of your Georgie Bests to your Cantonas to the way to now Ronaldo's and Messi's.
Yeah, I think in England, I think we're going to see a lot more creative players now. Like you can see it now, can't you? Phil Foden, Grealish, Maddison, Jadon Sancho, Rashford, Sterling, like we've got endless amount of creative players that I don't think we did really have, did we?
So
like,
it's just,
I'm not saying that's from, I don't know what it's from. I think more freedom to express yourself on the pitch. Like coaches now typically give the players a bit more freedom, I think, especially the ones that can do it, like your Sancho's, like go and beat him, or I think we're going to have, I think we have a good chance, you know, Euros.
Do you think? Will you realise a Rashford and...
Maybe the one after, like, you know, 5-6 years time when these guys are in the prime. Yeah. And Phil Foden's like 25 and just played millions of these games. I think we have a bright future. Maybe a bit too soon right now. Yeah. They're a bit young, aren't they? Like, you never know though. You never know, but I feel we have a good future with England football. Yeah. I think we're getting there. We were miles off, weren't we? Like, remember going
Southgate? Is Southgate the man for the job?
I like him.
Yeah, you think he can keep it?
I I think we'll have a new manager in the next World Cup. I think he'll do the Euros and this one. And, and I think we'll end up changing, but I like him.
Yeah. He's not done anything wrong. So what was next for Kings? So you built it up nicely. Yeah. What was the next?
My next steps was, like I said, it was no business plan. I was focused on uni.
Yeah.
The next step was private coaching because I got asked. That was it.
Yeah.
Do you do it? I was like, yeah. Didn't advertise it. Just had a couple of kids that asked, so I did them. And the next one was, at this point, do you do birthday parties? So I was like, no, but if you want one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did it. Did a birthday party. They got a big interest. I did loads. Probably did like 3 a month, something.
Yeah.
So everything that happened was like no plan,
mm-hmm.
because it was just a little bit of fun for me. I loved it, but a bit of income while I was at university, but no intentions to be anything more than that at that point. And as these things started snowballing, like private sessions, birthday parties, do you do holiday camps? Never done one, but I'll do one. Holiday camps. Then all of a sudden in a year I was doing Saturdays, Sundays private coaching, I was doing birthday parties, I was doing holiday camps, and it just, like, as weeks went by and as I was coming to the end of university, it just grew. Like, it just, loads of people were interested in the private stuff. Loads of people were attending camps, like they were sold out. And it just grew, like, really naturally, no plan at that point. Like now it's my full-time job. There's plans in place, but
so you're looking at scaling it. You've got a plan of action.
But this past year, so I graduated last year. I graduated centre of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished, I jumped on online sessions straight away. Me and you had a chat, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm gonna get onto that. So your business was absolutely flying, and then Boris comes on in March saying, like, for us it was gyms.
Yeah.
But so what was your thoughts like, literally, when you thought, because you've got birthday parties, you've got camps, you've got one-to-ones, you've got coaches working for you by then.
Yeah. So it was there was 3 of us. So it was me and 2 others. My brother, who is really good, level 1, young but bright future, and then a friend of mine that's a university lecturer that works for me on the side. That was pre-COVID. It was me and Mike, my friend, did the private sessions. Matt was helping with the group sessions, like assisting me and Mike and assisting on the camp. So it was still relatively small at this point. And it's been the past year that it's, like, scaled a lot. From COVID, so shut down. Then, like, I spoke to you, I remember, like, this is when you shifted, and I was like, I need to do something, because you said it. You was like, this is gonna last till Christmas, and now it's 3 months after Christmas and we're still here. But no one thought that, really.
No, they didn't. They don't.
But then I acted on it quick. Pretty
Yeah.
quick with the Zoom sessions, and had a reasonable following on Instagram, probably like 1,000 followers. Put it on there, put it into the groups where I kept, like, contact information. So I put it out there, Facebook and emails to people that would be interested in the Zoom session. So what I did at first was I offered 2 free Zoom sessions in that time when it was our first lockdown. They were really popular. I think I had about, I don't know, some sessions like 100 kids.
Amazing.
And then it gets to a point, doesn't it, where you're offering this, but I needed some sort of income, like, because you just didn't know how long it was going to be. Like, I'd graduated from university and I'm still in this, and like you said, it could be another 6 months. So I created, like, an online program. It was like it was in the summer, so it's like a summer camp. Like, it was anybody can access these 2 free sessions, but if you want more, I've got some on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I kind of offered bronze, gold, bronze, silver, gold, and diamond packages, and people were, like, paying per week for what they wanted, and that was, like, amazing. I got so many new kids and interacted with so many new parents, and the social media grew, so I was kind of controlling what I could control. Like I couldn't control anything out the pitch, couldn't run a camp, but I could control like growing my social media pages and growing my client base for when we return. So that was my plan then, and it worked really well. I think we gained like 4,000 or 5,000 followers that summer, and then when we returned, when we were out of lockdown 1, the interest was incredible. Like from all the people that been doing the online sessions said, I want a bit of it on the field. So that's when I thought, I don't have enough hours in the week to deliver to all you guys. My other coach was a full-time lecturer. He only does a few hours on the weekend, so I needed staff members. So that's when we got our lockdown 1, and we've got 7 staff now that deliver private sessions, 6 or 7.
Amazing.
And that was from just growing it in that period of time, coming out of the other end like stronger as a business, really. Which was something that I didn't really expect, but
you've done the right, like I say, you've gone into that COVID and you've innovated your business, and you've used that so powerful to build, to work and build that trust. And I think that's the main thing with this, is keeping that community, keeping that, like, that's how he's my coach, you know what I mean? And that's it. That's how we've built our business, from keeping people together and knowing. And look, I would love to have a sweaty gym with everyone sweating on top of each other, but it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I called it in March. It will change the way fitness is done in the world, maybe for the next 2 years, hopefully, but it might be forever. You don't know. And that's the thing, having that, be able to pivot and be able to change, adapt and being okay to, like, I had coaches that said, I'm not doing all that Zoom stuff, it's never going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's just not me. You've got to, like, no one's going to come and say, no one's going to come and save your business. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to come, Barry, and say, right, there's 20 grand, just you relax for this. Do you know what I mean? So that's you've innovated really well there.
I'm so glad, and you were kind of a big part of that, because you could have easily just sat back there and felt sorry for yourself in that time, couldn't you? Like,
it was fight or flight, 100%.
So, I mean, it's scary, but I'm so glad I did it. Like, it basically it's turned my job now into full time, and I love it. Like, I love every part of it, like one-to-one, small group, camps, the variety. It's what I wanted to do, and I just know that it's definitely the right thing.
What's the plan? So two more questions. We're getting there. Are we alright for space? So any regrets? So building up Kings, not any regrets? Any regrets? Anything you've learned and thought, that wasn't great? Or anything? If anyone's looking at the whole thing with our podcast is like speaking to entrepreneurs and speaking to people who've built businesses up to try and get some little wins for people that might be thinking, you know what? It might not just be football. It might be boxing. It might be rugby. Like, you started off literally just very small, and it's grown into something big, and I can't wait to see where it is in 5 years' time. Anything that you've thought back and thought, that wasn't a great move?
I don't think I don't think so. I think everything you do that is that, you just learn from it. Like, I think a big thing is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Like, I think that's the only way you can grow. And anything that does fail or doesn't go well, I just think that you just don't do it again, do you? You just learn from it. So for me, no, I don't have any regrets with the business at all. Like, I don't regret not making a big business plan. Like, I don't regret it at all. Like, it's kind of grown from demand. Like, it's grown from what people have asked for initially. Like, I can't think of a thing that I've regretted in terms of the business. Obviously there's times that aren't good. It could have been structured better, but I'm getting there. Like, I'm getting there now with my structure. I've got booking systems in place, because that was a big, like, writing it all on paper and like giving that to your accountant. It was just utter carnage. But again, that's a regret, but it's something that it was the process of learning how to run a business successfully and being organised. So I don't think there's any in particular thing that I regret. I just think main thing for me for growing it was having a good network and putting myself out there in loads of different environments and meeting coaches and learning from them, which I still do.
Yeah.
Like, just being open to learn. Like, I learn stuff. You can learn from anyone. Like, you can learn from the best coach in the world on YouTube. But then you can learn from like your work experience, or you, like Matt, who's the junior coach and like bringing up ideas, and that's good. Or I just think being open to learning and learning from your mistakes is massive, and just putting yourself out there. I've had loads of uncomfortable like sleepless nights because I'm worried about something, but I just think once you get into that uncomfortable thing, I think it just opens up doors and just gives you belief. Like, I remember my first professional footballer coming in and doing a session with them.
Yeah. I
just remember thinking, like, I just work with kids, and this guy's coming in and plays professional football, and like, so many things go in your head, like, is he going to like it, or blah. It's just madness how much you doubt yourself. Well, I doubted myself, but just putting yourself in them situations, and like, I've put the work, I've done hours of experience, qualifications, and like, it's just having belief. But again, it's not always there. Like, coming on this morning is nerve-wracking. It sounds weird because
that's why I wanted to get you on.
I've had loads of experiences that seem worse than this, but just something new. Like, but it's just important to not turn down them opportunities and not turn down things that might open doors, because some of them won't open doors, but the networking and building your network is massive in football. Like, it's who you know, and like, just learning from anyone you can.
100%, mate. You've put on so many good points there. Like you say, we never had a business plan for anything we've done, but I think too many people obsess over business plans, and they probably talk themselves out of doing the business they ever wanted to do because of the business plans. I think for me, go for it, wingle it a little bit, do you know what I mean? Blag it till you get there. And there's a lot of that, do you know what I mean? It works, it
there's
does
definitely
work.
some planning involved, isn't there? But it's just...
You do your numbers in your head, do you know what I mean? And that's the way we work. Like, Louise is always going on saying, we should do it, a proper plan, we should do it. And I'm just like, let's just roll with it, do you know what I mean? Let's just go with it. And also networking. Like, I've noticed this last year, my networking is so important with businesses. And like, obviously we had it with the gym and stuff, but now opening yourself up and allowing yourself to be uncomfortable, push yourself, speak to people, be confident, do you know what I mean? And just be yourself. I think that's the best thing as well. But network's really, really important. And I think if you can build that network, they say on the network's your net worth, do you know what I mean? And
you don't want to burn bridges. Like, you never know when you might need someone, or you never know what they can do for you. And I just think, just not burning bridges, like, with people. I think important in this industry, and just, been fun. Like, the journey's been fun, but like you said, there's been no real plan. Right now there's a little plan on where we like to go, but
that's my last question. What's the plan for Kings?
The main thing with Kings is, like, what I want to happen is I want to keep doing what we're doing, because no matter where it goes to, I want to be on the field and coaching. Like, I don't care wherever. If it was making £100 million a year, I'd still go and be coaching on the pitch. I just love it. It's not for that. Like, it's just what I enjoy doing. But what's important is staff. Like, staff are so important to replicate what you want your business to look like. And again, networking, like, from my time at all these clubs and all these different places I've worked, is I've picked my staff kind of. They're all most of them are in full-time roles, and they're just doing bits for me. But one of them does 8 hours, one of them does 14 hours, one of them does 21, one just does 4 hours. And but I trust them all, and I've worked with them in the past. I know they're going to offer a service that I'm happy with.
That's the key, isn't it?
And I think that's where some people can go wrong, because I could put a Facebook advert, Instagram advert out now for one-to-one sessions and get X amount of kids, and just get any old coach that I don't know to come and do them with my football kit on, but like it won't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Like I think we could scale like that when we go back.
Yeah.
Because the power of social media adverts is incredible.
Yeah.
And like once they're on your page and they look like it's good quality, you can quickly get clients, and that's my main advertisement now.
Yeah.
So I think we could grow quickly, but like I think that can be wrong sometimes. I just want to grow slowly and make sure we've got the right people in place.
Yeah.
So there's no like, I want to work with 1,000 players a week and I want 20 staff. That's not what I want. Like, I want to just have. I just want to have a business that is offering like a service that to everyone that comes, that's enjoyable and they're getting stuff out of it. But that stems from staff, and I won't be employing somebody that I don't think would offer that. So there's no like, I've not set number targets on how many staff I want, or I just know that I want to grow organically, like you said, with the right staff.
Yeah.
And again, there's no like huge business plan for the future, but we're gonna like make the content better. We've bought some new devices that will help that recently.
Yeah.
Just offer a service all around, whether it's online or whether it's on the field. And then we have a few other projects in mind that we might be integrating in the next couple of years. But again, just like you said, just rolling with it's good, seeing what people are wanting at that time. And we're introducing a session when we come back, which is bringing like the technical part of the game and the physical part of the game with a strength and conditioning organisation.
Nice.
I think that's quite important, speed and like balance, and
it's more to offer as well.
So I think we're combining there, coming in to offer that service with us. Fingers crossed we can get back soon, so I can focus on what I feel like I'm better at, is the technical information on how to improve, and they can come in and help with how you can run faster, or how you can improve your running technique, or your balance, or you change your direction. So we've got that as an idea, but we've got a few ideas, but like you said, if you write a plan and it doesn't happen, sometimes it can be like a bit disheartening. I don't know. I just, like you said, roll with it,
because 100%, as Oasis once said, because like you say with the plans and stuff, no one planned COVID. Do you know what I mean? So what are you going to do with your business plan if something like COVID happens? So you've done amazing. Will you keep the online as a hybrid, or are you gonna have it in the background, or is it going to be a bit of a backup thing in case ever this happens again?
Yeah, right now I know that if it happens again, like I can offer a good service online, because you can work on elements of your game that maybe you don't focus on as much when you are playing, which is ball mastery, hitting the ball against the wall, passing, trying different skills, and just try to. I think there's a market for it. Like you said, some kids don't want to do it, some kids do. So there's a market for the kids that do. You don't want to force a kid to do it that doesn't. But I feel like online football is not my preference, but I definitely think it is an option and it's beneficial to players. But again, you don't need a coach. If you can motivate yourself and go to the park, you can improve yourself with a ball. Seen it a lot around Heaton Park, just kids on their own with a ball or with one of the mates. And you're just doing as much as you can in this time. But for me, I like being on the pitch. And,
you can't
just, no.
Last question then, football related. When do you think we'll start seeing fans back in grounds and getting back to some sort of normality on that side of things? Because that's what's missing, isn't it? Especially when we're watching Premiership football and
being realistic, I don't think this season.
Do you not think?
No, they tried it, didn't they? They tried like them 2,000 fans, and I don't know. I think what we've done, we've dealt with it as a country, in my opinion, quite bad. The messages that got across are mixed. Like nobody really knows what's right or wrong anymore. Like
No.
they've introduced rules, then the week later stopped them. I don't know.
Eat out to help out.
Yeah, which just triggered the next lockdown. I just think they're going to learn from it and not go back full throttle straight away. I think it will be next season.
Grassroots football.
I think grassroots football, personally, in next month and the next month
when the schools reopen.
But again, I don't know. Like, I don't even know my personal opinion, because if that's going to trigger a fourth lockdown, then no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, nobody knows, do they? Nobody knows what to do. Like, we're slating the government, but
They don't know either.
they don't know either. But
No.
I think just from the get-go, you look at the countries that dealt with it well, like New Zealand, and they just understood that this is going to be a problem. Let's just shut it down, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We got in a bit of a mess with it, haven't we? But I don't know. I hope grassroots football needs to come back for me, because kids need the interaction.
$1,000,000,000%.
Kids need the interaction with the friends, and for your parents, for them to have a bit of
structure,
bit of time for themselves. And
we brushed on this before when we first got going, but do you think the kids that are coming through now, so I've got a 7-year-old, do you think 7 to 13, something like that, do you think they'll be affected by the last year of COVID as a development from sports, not only football but sports? Right. Do you feel like it's going to, or do you think they'll just catch it back up?
Kids are quick learners, aren't they? I think they'll catch it back up. There might be a slight issue, but I don't know.
They're all at the same level, though, aren't they?
Everyone's been you hope to be going out, like, you know, yours are doing their ice hockey and the run. Like, kids just need to. I think the important thing, they just need to be active and be not just stuck in that inside. Need to be going out and running around, and just it's a shame we can't control it, can we? I don't think there'll be a huge impact. Short term, like when they head back to football, I think you'll find some players have lost a bit of fitness or a little bit rusty, but I think in a year's time
they'll be back.
You'll
come back stronger.
Yeah,
amazing. Harry, absolute legend. I'll put your angles for your football camps on the podcast.
Amazing.
But thank you so much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you very much.